Marine Kyology. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, Marine Kyology. That's all, folks, here.
How are you doing today? That's all, folks.
Well, I haven't talked to you in a little bit, Marine Kai. I'm actually calling Zach Show live, too, so we'll see if he picks up. Right on the dot. What's up?
Oh,
Zach Show live.
A little collaboration today, guys. Got That's All, folks, Marine Kyology. And what's yours name, Zach?
That Zach Show live.
Zach Show live. Nice.
Well, Zach Show live and I talked about this. I wanted to do a weekly show, and it's always going to happen on Thursdays. It's Science Thursdays.
Okay.
Zach, are you doing laundry right now?
No, why?
What's that sound?
What sound?
Is that in Kyle's?
I don't think it's mine. There's
it's the garbage truck. It's garbage day.
I guess
that's the only confliction I have with Science Thursdays. It's also garbage Thursdays.
Let's take out the trash on bad science reporting. What do you guys say?
I got 2 words for you. Heck yes.
So, if you're new to the show, this is I'm a sort of science buff. I have been all my life, and so it's really fun. I set up a bunch of RSS feeds, and I looked through them for like an hour or so last night, and I pulled about 10 articles from the last couple days. I know it is a lot. We might not get to all of them, but maybe since Marine Kyology's here, Kyle's an ocean specialist.
Oceanographer.
I'm actually changing my whole specialty to gardening. It's giving me my new one.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any plant news from what I can see here. Anyway, well, let's start off with I have one. You still know about the ocean, though. So, and this first article I pulled isn't exactly related to the ocean, but whatever. Here it is. They didn't flip. Ukraine claims dolphin army captured by Russia went on a hunger strike. So
the dolphins went on a hunger strike?
Yeah, so I guess the Ukraine had a dolphin army. Like they were training dolphins but I guess they had a really kind of an experimental army, and they did a lot of like weird things. Mm-hmm. And but then when Russia took control of the Ukraine, they confiscated their army dolphins, and they said that they were so loyal to the Ukrainians that they wouldn't listen to the new coaches, and they went on a hunger strike and all died.
Wait, so these were Ukrainian dolphins that were taken dolphins by the Russian regime?
By Russians, yeah.
Wow.
And they said they were so loyal to the Ukrainians that they went on a hunger strike and died.
Do you think they were trained to do that?
Kyle, where are you? You sound really far away.
Sorry, I think came off speaker.
You got to get your mouth close to the microphone.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
So do you think these dolphins were trained to do that, or what?
That's what Ukraine claims. The Ukraine says, like, yeah, man, fuck you. They're more loyal than most human soldiers. They're kind of like they're laughing at the Russians.
And they also have 6-packs. That's a fact too.
The dolphins?
Yeah, all dolphins have 6-packs. So, I mean, that's kind of how.
I mean, they do. Their whole means of transportation is pretty core based. So,
another conflicting. I'll say that like there's a bunch of conflicting reports here that like some other Ukrainians. These dolphins were kind of like treated badly from the start, and they were all dying before we even gave them to the Russians. So like this is a lot.
That actually sounds
I don't know. It's a fun thing to think about. Yeah, they said like neither the Ukrainians nor the Russians treated them very well, and that's why they died. So it seems more likely that that's the truth. But it's fun to imagine dolphins that are like, "Fuck you, I am loyal to the Ukraine."
We gotta get these dolphins with swimming around with some stars and stripes. He's thriving.
Okay, so my one Marine Kyology news. Let me just like rattle down some headlines, and you guys can decide which one you want to hear.
All right.
Bitcoin's energy use got studied, and you libertarian nerds look even worse than usual. Transplanting memories into the brain is possible. Who You Calling Normal? That's about like.
I kind of like the transplanting memories. What the fuck is that about?
Okay, so this is pretty interesting. So the scientists, snails. What's going on? What are you like listening on speakerphone real loud? Because I just can hear an echo of my own voice.
It sounds like Kyle's like making. It sounds like Kyle's got something else going on.
No, wait.
Kyle, if you can't be here, you can just leave.
Is it better now? I put on headphones because there was too much going on.
Okay. So these scientists, they took some snails. Transplanting memories into the brain is possible.
Can I just guess what I think it's going to be?
Yeah.
They're basically they're just maybe is this with humans? Okay, I'm already know it's with animals. I was gonna say maybe they're gonna do something during like a nighttime, during like their sleeping time, and they're maybe gonna play some sort of noises or sounds or something. I don't know. That's my guess.
Here's what.
100% wrong. Okay.
So here's what they did. So you know RNA, DNA. RNA helps with replicating the DNA. I don't really know about it that well. I'm not really a scientist. Sean probably knows way more about this than we do. We probably should have got him here. But so what they did was they got a bunch of snails and they shocked them every 20 minutes, 5 times in a row, and then 5 more times after 24 hours. And when they shocked them, they would retreat into their hole, into their snail shell, and they would stay in their snail shell after being shocked for about 50 seconds because they were like, man, that's harsh as fuck. Whereas if you shock a snail without having shocked it before, then it'll hide for about 5 seconds, I want to say.
Okay, well, less time than 50 seconds. Maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah, less time than 50 seconds. Yeah, it's something like that.
Because I feel if it's 50 for 5, then 1 would be 10, right? I don't know. That's just doing a simple math conversion, but who knows?
Do you think they would maybe what if they showed all these snails every season of Lost, and then the final episode? How long do you think they'd go in their shell?
Oh, it's only 1 second. So the snails. So the researchers noted that snails, given the shocks, displayed a defensive contraction that lasted an average of 50 seconds, known as sensitization, while those that were not given the shocks contracted only for about 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
So then they took the RNA. They took the RNA from the sensitized snails, the ones that they were shocking, and they injected that into some snails that have never been shocked.
And RNA is just basically a precursor for DNA, right? Okay.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it is.
And so then they put it in these new snails that have never been shocked, and they shocked them, and those snails retracted for 40 seconds. Wow! So they were able to take the memory of this shock and transplant it from one thing to another. So pretty weird, it's sort of the thing that's interesting about this is something could have happened in mom's life that shocked her so bad that it could be in our memories, I guess, is the maybe super sci-fi version of this. And then the also other super sci-fi version is we could maybe actually transplant memories or something from one human to the other, maybe.
I mean, yeah, that was that Black Mirror episode, though.
Did they could move memories around?
Yeah, weren't they it was that one episode where the dude it's oh yeah, he lived. You could look back at memories and stuff. It was.
I think that's just because they were recorded.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But
yeah, I mean,
this is more like the Matrix, where Neo is I know how to fly a helicopter, I know kung fu. In 10 seconds, you can just get injected with knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, that's true too. That is true too.
I guess. Yeah. New topic.
Well, I mean, let's expand on this a little bit. Let's think maybe.
Well, my thing is though, is I feel like that kind of memory that they're doing is so like basic, like pain, like your response to pain isn't necessary. Like I don't know if say mom watched a movie or somebody watched a movie and then they took out your RNA and put it into somebody else's head. Like I don't know the memory of that movie. Maybe that's like too skeptical. Maybe that is really the potential of this technology.
Yeah, I mean, how many chromosomes does a snail have?
That doesn't really determine anything.
No, it has a lot less neurons than us, but they said it's pretty similar. They said it's similar enough that we can make the comparison.
You can compare a snail
it's a sea snail.
to a human pretty easily.
Guess so. That's what they claimed in this article.
I've smushed so many snails in my life.
Yeah, they said, let me see. I don't know. It really did say that it was close enough. Okay, new topic.
Let's just move on into it. There's not much I can really say about that.
Guys, great news. What's the battery life on your phone right now?
56%.
What if I told I could increase the battery life of your phone by 100-fold?
That would
with a new battery technology.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, how the hell are you gonna do that?
They design a new battery. New device could increase battery life of electronics by 100-fold.
Keyword could.
Okay, so here's the summary of this.
Maybe
I like how that we're just like hearing all these articles and you're just like, nope, not possible.
I mean, maybe if it had like a solar panel like on your phone or something.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
So among the chief complaints for smartphone, laptop, and other battery-operated electronics is the battery life is too short, and in some cases that the devices generate heat.
Yeah, for sure.
Now a group of physicists has developed a device material that can address both issues. The team has applied for a patent for a magnetic material that employs a unique structure, a honeycomb lattice that exhibits distinctive electronic properties.
That's cool.
So it looks kind of like a honeycomb.
Your phone does?
And somehow, no, it's just like
the battery device.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it says it's just a lot more efficient. Like it doesn't lose any of the energy. I don't really like. I read this yesterday and I was like, I don't understand how this works. But clickbait headline,
maybe
100 times better battery.
The fact that it's shaped like a honeycomb.
They seem pretty about it.
Dude. Yeah, like the fact that it's shaped into a honeycomb is like there's maybe a bunch of like octagons or like hexagons, so like maybe more evenly can like release the energy.
Do you want me to just read this paragraph and you'll be like, holy shit, I don't understand this at all.
Isn't it weird ever since Wakanda came out of hiding, it seems like there's a lot more technological advances.
Pretty weird, I do agree. I don't want to jump to conclusions.
But adamantium could be. Just throwing it out there.
What are you guys talking about Anaconda for?
He said Wakanda.
What's that?
Bro. Oh.
Did you not see Black Panther?
No.
God.
Whoa.
Racist.
You friends with Barbecue Becky, or
grilling up something right now with old Beck.
Okay, semiconductor diodes and amplifiers, which are often made of silicone or germanium, are key elements of modern electronic devices. Says Singh, who also serves as a principal investigator of the magnetism and superconductivity research laboratory at MU. This is at University of Missouri.
I thought it was
a diode.
University. I was like, whoa, they're doing that research there.
A diode normally conducts a current and a voltage through the device along only one biasing direction, but when the voltage is reversed, the current stops. This switching process costs dissipation or for the depletion of the power source, thus affecting the battery life. By substituting the semiconductor with a magnetic system, we believe we could create an energetically effective device that consumes much less power with enhanced functionalities. Their team developed a two-dimensional nanostructured material created by depositing a magnetic alloy or permalloy on the honeycomb structured template of a silicone surface. The new material conducts unidirectional current, or currents that only flow one way. The material also has a significantly less dissipative power compared to a semiconductive diode, which is normally included in electronic devices. So it's like saying it doesn't heat up and it lasts longer. It's more efficient. So I mean, if they're right, if this is real, I mean, this is great news.
Yeah.
I mean, of course.
It sounds a little too good to be true.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that Monster University went from scream energy to like laughing energy,
nanostructure,
all the way to nanostructure stuff. It's honestly, it's crazy.
It's an obvious progression if you just look at it though, and you see it in hindsight 2020.
I mean, that is crazy, but I think there's sort of something beautiful about having a charge your phone. You know.
What?
I feel like, like it keeps me in routine a little bit. I mean,
is that because you don't want to be on your phone as much, or?
Yeah, like because I'll be off my phone a good bit once I plug it in. Like I'll plug it in and leave it there and do something else. It's like it's always with me. It's just like, god dang.
I mean, I would say out of us three, you're definitely the one that uses your phone the least.
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm. I don't use my phone like a ton. I do, but mostly just for stupid things, really.
Yeah, like what? Porn?
I mean, yeah. I honestly, if there was like a pie chart of what my freaking phone usage is for, like at least like 20% would be porn.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not that.
If we looked at,
I'd say it's a little above average, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, but you also have to look at like how much I'm using my phone too. I'd say like 20% porn, like 20% Instagram, like 30% internet. So what's that? 70%. And the rest,
how much?
And the rest like YouTube and distributed between YouTube and like if music isn't counted.
What about biology? What percentage is that?
I usually look up stuff on my computer for that. That's a whole different pie chart.
Gotcha.
Okay, you guys ready for a new topic? So do you want some weed news? Cannabis news? So cannabidiol, which I think is CBD. Yeah, I don't know. Is that what CBD stands for? Like it is. People say CBD, but I guess the real word is cannabidiol. Say it again, Zach.
Cannabidiol.
Yeah. So if you know anything about weed, there's like CBD, which has all like the sort of medicinal properties of weed without the psychoactive
stuff. Properties.
So there's a lot of people. That's like sort of like where the medical community is focusing their attention.
That's where like a lot of the argument is for like legalization, because maybe older people or people with joint issues, that's their argument. Yeah. Okay, so you're not going to get high, you're just going to have a pain relieving, which is a big reason why like cannabis was able to get legalized in like recreational.
So this is a new study from the NYU School of Medicine. CBD significantly reduces seizures in patients with severe form of epilepsy. So these people took 20 milligrams of CBD and had a 37% reduction. But the people with really bad seizures had a 41.9% reduction. So almost a 50% reduction for people with like really bad epilepsy. So really a pretty significant reduction in seizures for people taking CBD.
But how are
that's huge.
People taking CBD though? Mostly just like in vapes?
I bet like a pill.
A pill?
Yeah. I think it's just liquid or.
Yeah, I think the best.
It doesn't say.
The best way to do it is just like under the tongue drops. I think that's kind of like more of like a medical like. Just because, you can absorb. You can absorb like that right into your bloodstream, like from your mouth.
How much CBD is just in like regular, like I don't know, sour diesel?
It's
I
in
think
there,
it's maybe
but
like a
isn't it?
20%, maybe less. I don't know. I don't know but it is in there for sure.
So they said, yeah, it's in patients taking 20 milligrams had a 30% reduction, and patients taking 10 milligrams had a 17% reduction.
I mean,
maybe they just need to boost their up to like
yeah,
50.
definitely. But like,
I don't know if more equals better.
Is this? Yeah, no, it's hard to say if more is better. I kind of want to say that it is.
Seems off at 20.
But
I don't know. I didn't read the report, but
yeah, I mean, like, this is not new information though. I feel like
well,
I read
it's not
about
new
this
that
like
you
5
heard
years
about
ago.
epilepsy.
Yeah,
Who's like slamming stuff around?
I was taking a poop and
Guys,
I got called.
This is not how I wanted to start Science Thursday.
I'm sorry.
All right, yeah. I mean, CBD, it's like, and weed is like basically the miracle drug for everything these days. So it's really just like another thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Are you skeptical of that whole thing of like using weed for everything, or do you really think it actually is a miracle plant?
I think it is kind of a miracle plant. I mean, I'm extremely biased, but
Dude, there's the kid I work with right now literally believes if he smokes enough weed, he'll never get cancer.
Whoops.
What do you mean? I thought that was true.
What?
That's why I've been smoking all this weed.
He literally like smokes like $150-$200 worth of weed every week.
I mean, he just sounds like a fucking 20-year-old stoner. Like
that's exactly what he is. He has freaking weed like the atomic structure, like the molecular structure of weed on his forearm.
Tattoo?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, it's kind of funny. It's also just like, man, I need to stop working.
That's the thing. That's why, like, I've said it before, but it's so annoying that like weed has been categorized as a Category 1 drug, because then there's been no research being done, and so like there's some people that are like, it'll make you dumb, you'll die from it, and then there's other people that are like, it's a miracle, you'll never get cancer, because there's no fucking good information about it for so long. So I'm just happy that scientists are like starting to be able to do better research on it, so that both sides of the story get tempered.
Yeah, so there's like actually a long-term study. There's like no long-term studies because it's been legal for so long.
Well, there's no what is it called? Like funded, like government funded testing, which is like kind of a big deal, which is why it's all private, and that's why there's not that much research being going.
And it's like an illegal gray area too, because of like the categorization.
Right. So I mean, they could probably get shut down pretty easily, you know? Yeah. Like if one of those kids had a really bad reaction, that would have been the end of that, you know?
And it's also like, it is the public image too, which is like the same as like sex research. People just won't fund it because it's just like it's taboo. It's not proper. Yeah, it's like And so because of that ignorance, like people are able to like get tattoos on their arms and be like, this is saving my life. This is the molecular structure of cannabis.
I mean I do think there are ways that cannabis can save your life, and
it's a beautiful plant.
I mean, just for like stress relief and like depression, I think it probably did save a lot of people's lives.
Maybe.
I don't know. Save mine, I know that.
Okay, new report, new science news. Do you want to hear some dinosaur news?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I did.
Okay. Well, this article title is called "Why Dinosaurs Arranged Their Eggs in a Donut Shape." Okay, you guys, like the way I like to paint a picture in your head about what these dinosaur nests look like. Picture just like a little mound. Little dip in the middle like a bowl, but then on the exterior of like the bowl's edge, there's just like a bunch of long eggs that are sort of pill shaped, and it kind of reminds me of the way like birth control pill packages look, you know, arranged in a circle.
Yeah. So it kind of like resembles like a week or something.
It's like a month,
yeah.
but yeah.
Sorry, ladies.
But so it looks like it's pretty much picture like a classic birth control pill and then a big dinosaur with feathers sitting in the middle of that.
Hmm.
And they were like, why did they do this? And they were like, and the conclusion is that if they were to sit on them, they would have crushed them. So they built them like this so that they could sit in that middle bowl spot, and then the hair, or the feathers and the body heat would get to the eggs that were sort of around them. So unlike a chicken, they didn't sit on top of them. They sat like in the middle of them, and then their body heat went to the sides.
So sort of an egg chair.
Yeah. There's not much news here. That's about it.
How did they find that out? Just like,
I'm gonna have to disagree.
I don't
with
know.
This
For
one.
some reason,
find some dino like popping a squat on his eggs, and they like just found him like crystallized like that, like fossilized.
They did. I mean, if you look at the fossils, you can see them all like that.
Oh.
And for some reason, they didn't know why.
What dino were they talking about?
Yeah.
Were they just any dinosaur?
A type of feathered dinosaur called an oviraptorosaur. Oviraptorosaur.
But weren't all dinosaurs like feathered? Wasn't that sort of like the lie that Jurassic Park fed everyone?
Yeah. I don't know if all of them were, but we think probably all of them were.
Yeah.
At least some type of feather.
They said.
Maybe not full-on feathers like we know them today.
Because they say they're most closely related to the chicken, right?
Yeah, you see how those one chickens that they were able to activate their ancient DNA and turn them into dinosaur chickens?
I feel like
I missed that. Where was
oh man, it was really funny. It was just like around the web.
Oh,
I think it was real. I don't think that's fake news.
You mean satirical news?
Satirical news, yeah. Okay, so that's about it on that. I see. Let's read Bitcoin's energy use got studied, and you libertarian nerds look worse off than usual.
We need Jimmy for this one.
Even worse than usual. Yeah, Kyle's friend Jimmy was so into Bitcoin.
I think he still is.
Like Jimmy,
if only Jimmy would have sold, dude, he could have made like $500. Dumbass.
I thought you were gonna say 5,000.
No, I mean he only put like $85 into it, and he ended up getting like 600 at the highest. And then I was like, Jimmy, sell. And he's like, no, dude, I want to make 10 grand and pay off my college. I'm like, no, you're not.
So this has been said before that Bitcoin, like the way Bitcoin works is that you're crunching numbers in order to mine coins and in order to like verify transactions. So like in order to make these transactions, everybody's just firing on all cylinders on their PCs to like do math problems for security. That's sort of how it works, basically. But
I don't really understand that.
Yeah, I don't either, honestly.
It's weird. I know it's really kind of hard to explain, but it's a way to do transactions without a bank, but still have it be like verified and like legit, so it's just, like so that nobody will rip anybody off.
Just some nerd on his computer, like.
Well, it's like a bunch of nerds, basically, right?
Well, it's like the reason why they're saying libertarian nerds look worse than usual is that libertarians, people who want no government and just want the free market to reign, they think that like Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are necessary because they don't want any sort of government oversight. They want people to be as independent as possible. And so transactions that happen without a bank are like more in line with that ideology of like the independent loner cowboy sort of citizen of the market.
Right.
Homo economicus. So that's why a bunch of libertarians are into Bitcoin.
So how do they fail?
So what? How did what fail?
You're saying like
to crunch all these numbers, it's taking so much energy that people were like estimating it. They're like, this is going to take up so much energy. Like this is not efficient at all. Like as much as
like energy, human energy.
Yes, human. No, not human energy, like power.
Just to like run
all the time, crunching these numbers. Yeah. Time. So by the end of the Bitcoin. It's the Bitcoin by the end of the year will be gobbling up 0.5% of the world's electricity, about as much electricity as the whole Netherlands.
Jeez.
And here, let me read a quote. That's a troubling trajectory, since especially for a world that should be working overtime to root out energy waste and fight climate change. By next year, Bitcoin will be consuming more electricity than all the world's solar panels currently produce, about 1.8% of global electricity, according to simple extrapolations of the study's predictions. That would effectively erase decades of progress on renewable energy. So yeah, it's only going to get higher, and they're just like, and there's probably a lot of crypto because I was saying like people want a lot of cryptocurrency goes on in the dark without any accounting for. So like that number 0.5%, like 0.5% of the power of the world is probably lower than it actually is.
Wait, lower than it actually is, or higher?
It's probably lower than it actually is. So it's probably something more like, I don't know, maybe a full percent if at the maximum. I don't know. But they're saying like basically it's like the dark web. Like the reason why people use cryptocurrency is because you can use it to like do all kinds of stuff without oversight. And so they counted all, they somehow took account of all of like the cryptocurrency mining and transacting and stuff all over the world, and they got a 0.5%, but they're like, we can't really count all of it because we don't know where all of it is.
Wait 1 second.
I
think Mom's going.
Hello? Yeah, I don't think.
Talking on the phone with Zach and Ryan.
You think you would?
So listen to this.
At least mute.
Listen to.
Okay.
I don't know how to mute.
Listen to this.
Dude, you can't.
You can't.
Okay. God.
So listen to this paragraph. Beyond its tentative get success as a get-rich-quick scheme, Bitcoin has increasingly real-world costs. The process of mining for coins requires a globally distributed network racing to solve math problems, and also helps keep any individual transaction confident and tamper-proof. In turn, requires an ever-escalating arms race of computing power and electricity use, which at the moment has no end in sight. A single Bitcoin transaction is so energy intensive that it could power the average U.S. household for a month.
Holy shit.
God.
So, yeah, that's why the article is titled Bitcoin's Energy Use Got Studied, and Now You Libertarian Nerds Look Even Worse Than Usual.
Who did this study? Cambridge Analytica?
It's finally the first peer-reviewed study of this. Like, I've heard people say this exact same stuff before, but it was all just like sort of like speculation and just people guessing, but now it's a peer-reviewed study.
What does that mean exactly?
Means it's like legitimate science. Like other scientists have looked at, other people have looked at it.
So large, different people,
maybe not scientists,
different groups.
Yeah, it's not just one person's claim. Yeah, other people have gone in on this and checked it and been like, the math looks good. All your sources look good. Yeah.
Yeah. Dang.
Okay. Let's go to. Oh, this one's fun. Let's do you want to do 2 sleep studies?
Sleep? Yeah.
I have one on melatonin.
Let's do it.
I'm
always interested in supplements since I slang them.
Well, this is about like that melatonin. They never really understood how it worked. Like I told you before, like melatonin is like melatonin and serotonin are almost like the same thing, is what I think. Like your body converts serotonin to melatonin, and then that makes you go to sleep. Anyway, they were studying melatonin, and they think they know how it works now. They're like, oh my God. So the experiments singled out one receptor, and it's the MT1, which melatonin acts to inhibit the specific neurons to wake you up. So like this one part of the brain, or one receptor called the MT1, it seems to cover that up, and then you don't wake up.
The melatonin is basically
melatonin.
Wait, is it a competitive or non-competitive inhibitor? Do we know that, or what?
I think that's a non-compete.
Like, okay, so this like protein is like binding to this site, right?
So it's blocking any other interaction.
Yeah, that doesn't really matter. I mean, either way, it's one or the other. I don't really know. I don't know.
Yeah, do you want to see using a model that melatonin infused into the brain at dark? When mice are awake and active, increased sleep increased sleep and reduced wakefulness by suppressing specific neurons that stimulate the brain to wake up. So yeah, it's like these one things that are always active, it like covers them up. I don't know. That's what it seems like, suppressing neurons, you know. So it's almost like, you know, Cinderella and the glass slipper or whatever. It's like the perfect one. And they're like, oh, finally, we found this receptor. And that current drugs on the market use all kinds of things to make people go to sleep. But they're like, if we could just simulate this, maybe we could make drugs that aren't so bad with so many side effects. Because melatonin is pretty safe. Like you can't really take too much, and there aren't that many side effects. So understanding how melatonin works is like really helpful, and hopefully creating like synthetic sleep drugs that aren't so insane.
That aren't so synthetic.
Yeah, like our dad, he takes Ambien like every day.
So his mom.
He's done some dumb stuff. Yeah, it makes you so dumb. You just do some dumb stuff, and I just feel like I know that has there been long-term studies on Ambien? Like I swear it's gonna make them like have Alzheimer's in the worst way.
That's why Mom crashed your car, because she was fucking sleeping at the wheel.
They're gonna be like 10 Seconds Sam. Remember that from freaking 50 First Dates?
Oh no!
He's after 10 seconds he forgets the car. Excuse me. And then reintroduces himself.
Okay, listen to this. This is my favorite research the favorite thing I read from yesterday.
Hold on. Okay, never mind. I was gonna sneeze. Never mind. Go ahead.
How REM and non-REM sleep may work together to help us solve problems. So you guys know what REM and non-REM sleep is?
Yeah.
What's REM stand for?
Rapid eye movement.
Yep.
It's correct. Bing, 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 bing. So do you know what REM sleep is?
It's like your deepest sleep.
It's
wrong. Non-REM sleep is your deepest sleep.
Okay.
So REM sleep, rapid eye movement, they assume is when you're having dreams. They see your eyes moving around, they think you're like seeing shit. That's when the craziest stuff's going down. And they also say that kind of sleep is not even very restful, that if you're having only REM sleep, that you're not resting as well as you could. You need both non-REM and REM. But this study says that it's sort of like a hypothesis about how dreams work. And they say that when you're having non-REM sleep, that you are going through your memories of the day and creating like logical memories, like categorizing things into places that make sense in the real world, because what they claim is what the
hell was that, Zach?
Is that you, Zach?
I mean, I can't help it if someone's in trouble.
So say tonight Zach's dreaming and that a ambulance goes by. He'll store that next to like fire truck and next to
maybe
alarms,
I'll categorize that
next
in
to red things. Yeah, and so this study says like the hippocampus and cortex are in close communication during this stage. And they propose that the hippocampus somehow controls what is replayed because it replays things that are similar or thematically linked. So it's like saying that this hippocampus that's your logical part of your brain. I've heard this before. I think this is that during some of your dream state that this is off.
The hippocampus?
So during the hippocampus and the cortex. Yeah, I think. Let me see. I think they say that during REM sleep, the hippocampus and cortex don't appear nearly as in sync. So it's like communication between the hippocampus. The cortex is like the front of your brain.
Right.
You know, like above your eyebrows. That's like the part of our brain that we're like, that's what makes us humans. That's like complex thought. And the hippocampus, that's like memories and stuff. And so, yeah, it says during regular non-REM sleep, which is the sleep that is supposedly like very restorative and helps you feel better when you wake up from, you're actually organizing memories logically. But then during REM, when you're having your crazy ass dreams, they're saying that since they're not in sync, that allows for like random ass things to activate. It says that meanwhile, evidence suggests that pontogensulio-occipital waves cause areas of the cortex to randomly activate, which could trigger the replay of memories from different schemas. Meaning it's almost like It's just like it throws like a wrench in the system, and then it's like sort of like saying like here's a bunch of weird ideas that if you're having trouble solving a problem in your real life, like maybe having things randomly connect during this dream state is good to help keep your mind flexible and help you not get stuck in any certain like really rigid ways of thinking, meaning sort of like that this non-REM sleep is like rigid categorization, and REM sleep, dreaming, which I mean we have always said dreams are the random, like they're random as hell and illogical. Dreaming is like this just randomness that helps you creatively think.
Yeah, that's crazy as fuck.
I've always, the craziest thing about this is I've always thought this. I've always thought like that must be what dreams are for. Is for mutating. They come up with ideas in dreams, but I also think like like this is how evolution works at its most basic, is that mutations happen, and then most of them are trash. Most of the time when an animal has a DNA mutation, they die, but sometimes they have a DNA mutation and it helps them just a little bit, and so in my mind I think dreams are like the places where mutations happen, and sometimes those mutations lend to things that are so beneficial that dreams are still like a crucial part of what, I don't know, at least like something that helps humans a lot, because we need to creatively think all the time.
Yeah, I guess it's just hard to know. Like, it's like, oh, you just thought of an idea. It's like maybe you dream triggered that. It's like, how the fuck do you tell that?
Yeah, because sometimes doesn't something happen that reminds you of something that happened in your dream, and you would like something that happens in real life, and you're like, oh my god, I dreamed that, and you didn't even think about that part of that dream until this moment,
Maybe, yeah.
It happens to me.
Yeah,
all the
I've
time.
had those where like I'm dreaming I'm boning some girl, wake up, splooge.
That's not.
I mean,
yeah.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But I guess I'm saying, I guess what they're saying is that to keep your mind flexible, there's this part of your night where just like random shit happens.
Do you think non-REM and REM sleep, like, are there periods where you can get a lot of non-REM, then periods you get a lot of REM? I mean, is REM like only when you don't get as good a sleep? That REM sleep's what you want.
I think it's just
I guess I should have said that. So, well, when you start sleeping, you get the non-REM. You get just like restful sleep, and then you go into like a small window of REM sleep, and then you go back. You cycle between them, and as the night goes on, the non-REM sleep gets shorter and the REM sleep gets longer. That's why I think that's when you have like long, like hour-long gaps of REM sleep dreaming, and that's why like if you have a day where you sleep into the morning a long time, like sleep 8 or 10 hours, you'll have a lot of dreams then because you're maximizing your REM time.
Interesting.
I don't get that much.
And that's why you probably dream. I feel like I dream more when I nap too, because you're not getting into
exactly. It's you don't need the reparative sleep as much, and so you sort of just
Wait, who's got all those birds outside them?
Me.
Zach, I think.
Damn, dude. It's a lot of birds.
Yeah, we have birds. We have a bird seed like everywhere in the yard. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got like 10 birds right here, just eating some seeds.
You see that garden I made?
I mean, I saw the picture you sent me.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Well,
I don't know where. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I hope these sources are good,
I mean, what are the sources?
I don't really know.
Daily
That
Mail
one was
UK.
from Science.
Are these all like just Google, like science?
I have a Feedly, which is just about like an RES reader, and so I've signed up for a lot of different science.
Right.
Do you know what I do? I just look on Google Scholar.
Yeah.
Because then you only get like
like
org,
gov.
.eus, .govs. Like you don't get any like .coms or anything.
Yeah, I'll try some different sites, but this one has a lot. These are all these stories are from within the last day.
I mean, I didn't hear anything that sounded like that made up.
Not too.
Zach, I'm trying to get into. I know you're sort of a garden boy too. I'm trying to get more into the gardening scene. So if we want to do some podcasts on gardening,
there was a plant thing, but it was not something that was very.
Yeah, I don't really know like how much we could really talk about I mean, there's plenty
I'll
that we
look
could
for.
talk about.
I'll keep my eyes
gardening.
peeled for.
Dude,
for
I'm trying to
plant
get
things.
into composting now. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool composting stuff.
Yeah, I actually do too. I wouldn't mind having a little bucket.
You can.
Okay, guys, we have about 15 minutes left in the app.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 neuroscience stories.
2 more?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one is about virtual reality. It's called it's another from Science Daily. I hope Science Daily isn't what was it called? Not fake news.
Satirical
News. I hope Science Daily isn't satirical news. Your body is parentized in a virtual environment. Active method to induce illusory ownership of invisible body at distance. So basically, they just put people in VR. What's going on, guys? I can hear a lot of noise over there.
I don't know what that is.
God fucking damn it.
You guys are ruining Science Thursday.
I didn't do anything. I don't know what that is.
All right.
Sorry.
So they use.
Go ahead.
What the?
Dude,
what's going on here?
I'm like,
it's filling up
my body is science, so I have to give it some water.
Okay. So, do you ever feel like you become your car when you're in your car?
I don't have a car.
Or
yes.
Yeah, if I did, I probably would. Yeah.
So there's this idea that like human beings can feel like other objects are their own body. Like when you're in a car, you feel like you can feel the front and back of the car. When you hold a baseball bat, it's almost like an extension of your arm. Yeah. So they're always, and when you're in virtual reality, you have like, if you're in a good one, it tracks your head, it tracks your hands, and it gives you like a fake body sometimes. And you really do feel like it's your own. Like you immediately believe it, it's pretty crazy. And there's this old thing called the rubber hand illusion, where in real life they would take a rubber hand and put it next to yours and then hide your own from you, and like rub a feather on the fingers on the fake hand at the same time they were putting a feather on your real hand, so that you start to believe that this rubber hand is yours, because like the feelings and actions are synchronized.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll stab the rubber hand with a knife and you'll be like, ah! You'll retract your hand in horror because you think it's your own hand, but it's really just this rubber hand. So that's called like illusory body ownership. I can't remember, but anyway, they're wondering if you can if it always has to feel like your own body, like next to you. So what they did is they showed a body, they put you in VR, and then they showed you a body across the room that had hands and feet, I believe. Yeah, only the hands and feet. They showed the hands and feet of another figure across the room that was like really your own. You were driving the hands and feet of it, and they were like, you do believe it's yours. That's about it. Like, they were just testing to make sure that was true, and they're like, yep. We must investigate how our communication would differ in the future of society if our body ownership and appearance could be significantly modified during the course of our lives.
So, do you think one day VR is going to have to be like they're going to have to do some recalls on some VR because people are going to die? Because their bodies, you're really going to think that they've died.
Maybe it's just the way that they're going to be able to put your brain in a fucking cyborg body, and you'll still be able to feel.
Well, it's basically just saying how flexible can we be with this body ownership illusion thing? And to me, this is kind of like insignificant, because when I watch people play Mario Kart, you watch them like tilt to the side. Like when you're playing Mario, you believe you're inside that car.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, You turn your body whenever you're trying to go around a turn.
Yeah. So to me, this is almost like no, but it is interesting that they did it in this way with VR and stuff. Let me read the just final paragraphs. These findings suggest that we could own a distant, invisible body only from our hands and feet. It is useful to show complex body skills to another person. In turn, he, she can imitate them for learning because the invisible transparentised body scarcely occludes the scene, and the body ownership may facilitate learning. Oh, fuck. So he thinks like if you erase the body and only keep the hands and the feet, that the watcher will put their own body into that. Weird. Last paragraph. Human communication is affected by body gestures and appearance. This study proposes the idea that our communication would change and might become body appearance free in the future if we could have different bodies in daily cyberspace. So yeah, it's basically like what's the minimum amount of feedback you can get from an avatar so that you still believe it's you. And I guess they're saying hands and feet is what they got to.
I mean, that makes sense because that's your part of your body that are always kind of stimulated.
You'd think head would be important,
I feel like they aren't as sensory as your hands and feet, though.
Yeah, true. At least, especially hands.
Hands, that's pretty easily sensory.
I would believe that only hands would be enough to like be you.
Yeah, but I feel like feet are pretty important too. If you like gripping stuff, gripping the ground, especially if you're walking barefoot.
It's crazy because I just ordered a green screen suit yesterday. Zach saw me do it. I ordered a green screen morph suit because I want to start a Twitch drawing show where only my hands and my head are there.
So people are going to feel like they're doing it.
I guess they're saying, and this study would say I could probably just take everything but my hands and feet, and then people would feel like they're doing it. I don't know. Interesting that I ordered that suit and was planning on doing that. I didn't read that story yet. It was like later that night.
It's a VR show?
No, it'll just be a Twitch show. So it'll just be TV, like a channel, you just watch it flat,
live stream.
Yeah.
You should do
drawing.
Yeah.
I was gonna draw.
Oh, I thought you were editing.
I could edit, but I want to do drawing because it's more like about hand movements and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So the final science on the Science Friday is from Scientific American.
Science Thursday, dude.
Fuck yeah! There's a famous NPR show I think called Science Fridays with Ira Plato.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, Science Thursdays, whatever. So this article is called Who You Call Normal. Neuroscientists are increasingly convinced that using the term restricts our understanding of the brain and behavior. So the whole thing is basically like, don't stop saying the word normal because it doesn't exist. And they are like, it only makes people feel bad about themselves. And really, like, normal is only relative to the environment. And so in a world where our environment is constantly changing, I mean, think about the world today from like 10 years ago. Like smartphones are like our world kind of now. Like that's the interface to some of the world. And so in an environment that's constantly changing, the idea to like hold people to some standard about what is considered normal really just like restricts what the possibilities are to react to a changing environment.
I believe that.
They said they studied some birds. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot I read this, and I knew you guys would love this. To illustrate this, they describe how for decades, biologists studied the foraging behaviors of the great tit, a bird, in parentheses, a bird, Parius major, with the assumption that there is a single healthy foraging strategy that individual birds deviated from at their own peril. So like there's like one way of getting food, and if you're not doing this, then you're probably a less successful bird.
Mm-hmm.
But this healthy versus unhealthy dichotomy was proven untrue when the biologists realized that the species' optimal temperament and foraging style varied from year, depending on the environment. When food was scarce, adventurous and aggressive birds were more successful at finding food, and so outlived their more mellow neighbors. When food was abundant, these same adventurous and aggressive birds, doing the same things, were more likely to put themselves in harm's way, and were less likely to outlive their neighbors who stayed close to the nest. So, like, being chill in some conditions is bad, and being chill in other conditions is good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the take-home behaviors are not simply healthy or unhealthy, but rather healthy or unhealthy within a specific environment. Behavioral variability allows a species to flexibly meet ever-changing conditions. As you might expect, the same applies to our own species. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's just kind of like, yeah, stop saying normal, because like that's almost like giving us a disadvantage to react to the changing environment.
Yeah, no one's gonna stop saying normal, unfortunately.
I don't know, man.
Well, they're saying in the neuroscience world, like, especially
gotcha.
scientists themselves, or authority figures, should definitely stop.
I mean, so what is the?
What are you gonna say instead?
The
just like love
majority?
everybody. You are beautiful, no matter what they say. Basically that.
Even the
You
chill.
were born this way.
Even the chill tits are beautiful.
The big tit.
Big
Was
tit.
it?
Big tit. Little tit.
Was it?
I don't think the size
The
really
great-
matters.
the great
There's
tit.
no normal size for that bird.
What was it? Oh yeah, it was the
Great.
great tit.
You know, you could be a great tit. You could
It's
be
a
a
saggy tit.
flat tit.
That's
No, but there's like a trend in the neuroscience world, in the world in general, that goes along with like a lot of like the what is it just a lot of like the movements that are going right now about diversity in general.
Mm-hmm.
One of the movements is neurodiversity, being like, if you have Down syndrome, if you have Asperger's, if you have any sort of like neurological disorder that like makes you considered, not normal, or something that needs to be fixed, that basically don't look at it as different, look at it as like rare and interesting, and like just another thing,
Just variants.
Yeah, just a variant in a way that, like, when you see like a fucking albino snake, people want it more because it's like, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah.
Not like fuck, kill it, or like,
Well, it's like scarcity
like,
marketing.
yeah. That's just more. Yeah. That's also,
no, I
that's also
guess I'm
rare.
saying like we should look at variability. Maybe not in that way. That's like on the other end. It's like, whoa, are we just gonna like breed freak humans because we want like the most like interesting looking ones? And maybe it will go that way at some point. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
But
I liked it.
But the idea of like, yeah, me too, definitely. I think we could go. I'm all for like radical diversity, but I'm like, whoa, what's like the like? I could see that going in a direction that's like
Hunger Games direction, like leopard people.
No, like more like Adventure Time direction, where like the whole world is just like, like crazy characters that are like hybrids between like animal and imagination, and like, and just like experiments gone wrong.
That'd be sweet.
I don't know. That sounds kind of scary to me.
So I don't know so as we close in on our hour, what was you guys' favorite topic?
I did like the phone battery discussion.
Just because you're excited about 100 times more powerful battery?
Yeah, I'm just excited to see how my life will go without having to charge my phone,
I know, it's so annoying. I'm at the moment plugged into an external battery because I was so low before the show and I wanted to record it.
What about
tethered?
You, Zach?
Tethered to a big bat.
I would say that the most compelling is the dreams, because that's just kind of crazy.
Yeah, I really like that a lot
too. I can't. Yeah,
I think that's the most.
So you guys know I'm a dream head. Like that. If there's like one big topic that I like have always been interested in, it's dreams.
That's what they. Yeah, they said. I remember you said that. Yep. Yeah, I'm a dream boy.
What?
Star boy, but it's dream boy.
Oh. Did you guys ever keep a dream journal or write down any of your dreams?
I had this.
Maybe at one point.
I tried to, and I looked it up, and like
I wish I did.
And they had numbers, and you could bet on the lottery with them. Like, you would look up your dream, and that dream would have a certain number, like set of numbers that you could bet on the lottery with. Like, you can choose your numbers.
In the lottery? Wait,
like
say that again?
Like you're dreaming about some numbers.
No. Like you're dreaming a certain type of dream. There are these books, or like it was a website I looked up, and you would look up the dream, and it'd be like, here are your numbers, and it would give you your numbers, and you pick those numbers for your lottery.
Oh, wow. So, that's some fucking dumb shit, but I've never heard of that.
The reason why people started doing it is some dude did it, like was using the book, and he won. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at some point somebody had to. But who, so they were like, okay, if you dream about falling off a cliff,
like there's a set of numbers for specific dreams. Like, there's a literal set.
So you get 6, 66, 24,
it ended up
20,
being like 6
that.
to 8 numbers.
So not just one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I used to have this recurring dream. My teeth just fell out of my mouth, and then I couldn't breathe.
Yeah. And that had some water numbers.
And it told you that you feel like your life is out of your own control.
Yeah, no, that is true though. I've heard that exact same thing about teeth falling out, is that you feel it's like a high stress time and you feel out of control.
Yeah, pretty much.
That makes sense.
I've had that dream too. When I've been stressed out, I've had that.
So have I.
More than once.
Maybe I've had it maybe twice. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, and what I've heard, the logic behind that is they're saying like even way back to like many. This actually goes back to like the can you like with the RNA replanting memories into like your brain, like what memories do our brains already come with? And maybe this teeth falling out thing is one of them, because they said if you're a mammal and your teeth fall out, you can't chew anymore and you're dead. Like for many generations of us, like going back in evolution, not just humans, but before humans, like when we were just fucking like weird lizard things. If our teeth fall out,
whenever we had just
the fear of our
been bred with aliens.
Yeah, no, but like if we like eating is the fundamental thing. If we can't eat, we're dead. And so that horror of our teeth falling out is like a fundamental horror.
Yeah,
is I guess what they're saying.
It's a precursor to like death.
Yeah, you're out of your life's out of your control. I mean, you can't. It's kind of true. If your teeth fall out, or it was historically true.
Well, guys, if you've ever had your teeth falling out, let us know.
And we'll
rate us in the Apple Store and let us know what you thought about Science Thursday. It up so it's not going to be confused with Science Friday. Maybe Thursday.
What do you think though? The teeth falling out, and it's weird that it's connected to like a shock too. Like they said that it was like an electric shock that was able to like be passed down. Do you think that the teeth falling out is like a memory that has perpetuated through the ages?
Actually, that's probably, yeah.
That's what people say. What I've heard, like that's the dominant opinion. But it's interesting to think about it in the way of like these snails.
Yeah, I know. That actually makes kind of.
Do you think that when we breed these snails, they'll be more shocked? Like, do you think their children will remember that shock?
I mean, that's the argument.
I guess I would love to see if their children have the memory. Yeah, I guess I'm making a sort of leap that like these snails would have babies and their babies would also retract for 40 seconds or whatever.
I mean, they could probably do it.
Well, it's a logical leap.
Yeah. Sorry, but that's kind of what this show's about. It's kind of about speculation, I think. It's fun.
Well, let's try to get a little gardening next week, and
if you guys want, I don't know if you guys want to look for stories too, but I would appreciate it. I mean, I'd love to hear what you guys want to bring to the table.
Stuff.
I'm fine with providing all the stories, though.
I'm always looking up. I look a lot of YouTube stuff.
All right. Well, it's always going to be on Thursdays, so just know you have to have some science ready for today if you want to. You don't have to.
Okay.
I'd appreciate it. I'd love to hear some.
Okay.
Anything else you guys want to add to Science Thursdays? Shout out your PCasts.
Yeah, follow me at Marine Biology.
On Anchor.
Could be switching to some other garden name, so maybe switching next week. We'll see.
Follow me at Zach Show Live. Follow me on Twitter at JustZacher and Instagram at JustZacher. And shoot me a DM. Like, let me know and like 3 of my pictures. So I know you're not a bot.
Oh yeah. Also, like at Kai Fry, like a few of my pictures for a TBH.
Kai Fry? Is that on Instagram?
That's my Instagram, Kai Fry. Like 2 of my pictures, and I'll do a TBH on your Twitter.
Nice.
All right, Ryan. That's all, folks, on Anchor and podcasts. Give us a review on the Apple Tree so we can go to the top. We want to beat Science Friday.
Yeah.
I want to be the new Ira Plato. I think his name's Ira Plato. I want to be Ryra Clado. On Science Thursdays.
Well,
all right,
guys.
Have a nice night.
All right, see you later. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.